Hey Auto Worlders, and welcome to the Auto World Workshop. And today we're continuing with the Millennium Falcon inspired cockpit build. If you haven't seen the first video, I invite you to check up here. One of these sides I never remember. I think it's this side. If it's not, it's this. It'll be up here somewhere. So you can see how I started building this Millennium Falcon inspired cockpit dash. And today we're going to continue that build. This is also a pretty long video. I thought I was going to be able to do it in 2 parts, but frankly it's going to be more like 4. But today we're concentrating basically on the cockpit dash, and we're just adding more details like those 3D printed parts that we did in the first one, and just putting on some more detail. So let's see how far we get this time on the Millennium Falcon inspired cockpit build. I started marking where the lever box for the light speed would go. I used a piece of wood to support the lever box, and then, after it was in place, I marked where every lever base would go and installed them. This lever was too loose, so I tightened them all and they all stayed in place. Then I started gluing down some greeblies. For this I used E6000. So I have a bunch of these switches, toggle switches. I have a bunch of these push buttons, square or rectangular ones. And this is the base for round, large push buttons that also light up the same as these. So I'm going to use these to mark where all the other pieces go in the cockpit dash. So I'm just going to mark them for now, then I have to take it out to drill all the holes and connect everything. So back here I put in an old iPad that I had. The screen is broken in the corner, and I recorded some footage when I went to Galaxy's Edge and some graphics that I found online, and I have them in here and I edited. There you go. Just had to hit play. I put Velcro around here. I used some PVC panel scraps to make the panels for the cockpit, just to give it a more dimension and it doesn't look so flat. I used the measurements of the grease pencil marks that I had made before. I had to take some of these greeblies out to put it back on the panel. I cleaned out the dashboard with naphtha to erase all the grease pencil markings. And now it's time to paint and finish all the details. So now that I have the levers here, I'm going to paint some details in red and yellow. And it'll be inside right there in each one. There they go, just a little detail. It's not perfect. The prints are not great either, but yeah. And now to install everything: panels, more greeblies, and levers. I created some static switch panels on Fusion 360, so I printed these out, painted them, and then glued in static switches, also 3D printed. I'm going to be doing this one. There's 2 big holes here for 2 big buttons, and then square tiles here. And on this second panel, I glued on that piece that I had glued onto the dashboard and then taken off. So basically what I've done is I put a lamp base there on this wooden base that I glued onto a piece of wood, and that way I can screw in the bulb with the effects and then put the top portion on it. So I'm going to use this aluminum wire. It's used to hold down cyclone fence. Just put them in here. Just cut a couple of pieces down and just put them in there and glue them in. So I made some holes for switches, and one of these switches are connected to the blue effects light bulb. Okay, it's plugged in. Let's hope this switch works. There you go. So it's plugged in here for now, but this is going to be through the back. Put it in here just like that. I'm going to put 2 knobs here to make it easier to pull. Maybe do something here, maybe a greebly or something. It's all connected. The first switch is the one that turns it on. Turn it off, you turn it on again, it has a different function. This one's completely on. Do it once again, then it has this movement type of thing, little by little, and it has that one. So these things here are spacers from when you're going to mount a rack on the back of the TV, and I saved them all because these can be used for many things. So I'm going to use like a medium sized one, and I'm going to put a screw through it so I can, since this is loose, I don't have to pull from here to put it on and take it off. I'm going to put them in each corner so it looks like it's functional, and also it gives me a place to grab this panel. So let's just screw them in. So I'm going to just put the panels that go here. There are these 2. And these, I'm going to level them out and just stick them together with some E6000. After they're dry and everything, I can use these holes by itself just to drill the holes all the way through so we can put in all the lights and the buttons that we need to put in. So yeah, this one's kind of already stuck there. Hold it for a bit. Do the other one. Another thing that I can start doing is putting these switch plates here. So yeah, these also I'm going to glue with E6000. So yeah, let's just put these on there. Next time you see it, all the buttons will be in there. I have this edge that's unfinished. I haven't painted it or anything. So what I'm going to use there are half dowels, EVA foam half dowels. I'm just going to glue them on here in the front, and that'll give us a nice finish right there. And now, as you can see, there's still a little bit of the edge that you can see here. I'm going to paint over this and paint these little pieces of wood so it all blends in. So when we open it, we don't see this. Yeah, so I cut out this little shelf, put a leg there, and some small L brackets here, and this is gonna go above the Millennium Falcon dashboard. Painted it black, looks grayish, but it's black. And this is gonna hold the speaker in this area around here somewhere. So then the dashboard or the cockpit is gonna fit under here. So before I put the shelf in, this one, all these cables that I have here, I'll use some of this wire conduit and just wrap them in there so they look more in universe. So, just gotta get a level. Let's see if I measure correctly and this fits in here. Oh yeah. Great. Looking pretty good. Still more details to come. Put in pinstriping, more LEDs, more stuff, greeblies, then aging or weathering. And yeah, but I guess that'll be another time. This is taking more time than I thought, but it's gonna be fun though. After it's all done, it's gonna look great. I'm gonna use two more to make it easier to lift this. I'm gonna put one here, one all the way down here. Maybe later on I'll put one in the middle, but I think with these two it'll be enough so I can grab and pull. So let's just put these in. I pulled out some of my small greebly bins to see what greeblies I had that might work all around the cockpit. I painted some of these greeblies, getting them ready for the installation. So there you have it. This is as far as we've gotten so far, and I hope you've been enjoying this journey. And I just want to ask you if you would like me to continue, or would we like you to break it up a bit and have some other builds maybe in between the cockpit builds. So yeah, let me know down in the comments what you prefer, and maybe we can work something out. So there's a lot of more detail needed to be put into at least the dashboard, and that'll be probably some next video. And I'm going to separate the top portion of the surround. It's all part of the cockpit. The shelf portion, that's where I'm going to put other details, some screens and some other interesting stuff I want to do up there. So like I said, I hope you enjoyed this content so far, and Thank you for joining me in this journey. Thank you once again for being here in the Outer World Workshop. Remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, so you can follow me in this journey on making my Star Wars room. And also hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Also, I want to remind you we have a Patreon. If you want to support us in that way, you can do that also. Link is in the description. So thank you once again for being here in the Outer World Workshop. Hope to see you next time when we make something out of this world.